The Enders of Mistfall. There is a legend, a prophecy of how the world will end. It is said to be a time of ice and fire, of darkness and ruin. In these days the autumn throne will become the winter throne. The kingsmen said to be fallen rebel angels who eternally guard the throne and the empire will be chained in the void, locked away, screaming, powerless to fulfill their duty and curse. In these days of pain and horror will come the force that will break the world. From lands covered in mist will come a great horde of twisted things, things made of corruption and taint, things whose rage will consume all the empires of the world, an endless horde of claws, fangs, and hunger. In those days, every nation will scream the name of its end through cracked, bloodied lips. Ender, the Enders have come. The Enders are one of the oldest known threats on the world of Tanalon. Their known origin point is the Valley of Mistfall, north of Highguard, but they are not limited to that valley. The Valley of Mistfall is the core territory most associated with them, yet reports and old warnings make clear that the Enders can appear beyond it. Their numbers are unknown. No Empire, Patrol, Scout Order, or Elven Watch has ever confirmed how many exist. The oldest prophecies say that one day the Enders may destroy the empires of the world. That prophecy is one reason Highguard exists as a northern fortress city, and one reason the Wood Elves of Mistwood remain so guarded and secretive. The Enders are not treated as a normal monster threat. They are treated as a containment problem that could become a world-ending war if the mist spreads far enough. The uploaded Enders file establishes their connection to an end times prophecy, their Mistfall origin, their hybrid forms, their large numbers, and the belief that they may one day break the empires of the world. Most reports describe Enders as half human, half tree, and half animal. That description is not meant as exact anatomy for every creature. It means Enders vary heavily in form, but most show traits from all three categories. Some have human-like torsos and limbs, but their skin is split by bark, roots, moss, or vine growth. Some have animal traits such as horns, fangs, claws, fur, hooves, antlers, or jaws, shaped more like predators than people. Others look more like walking trees with meat and bone trapped inside them. Many are described as large, with common reports placing them around 8 to 10 feet tall. Some are compared to ogres in size and strength. There is no single standard Ender shape. That makes them difficult to identify in Mistfall before they attack, especially when the mist is heavy. The Enders eat raw flesh. They do not speak to humans. No confirmed diplomatic contact exists. They do not warn, negotiate, bargain, or explain themselves. They attack travelers, patrols, caravans, and exposed settlements. When they kill, they may feed on the dead or drag bodies back into the mist. This matters because one of the strongest and most feared theories about the Enders is that some, or possibly all, were once victims. Soldiers have reported seeing old comrades return after being lost in battles against them. These men did not return as wounded survivors. They returned warped, enlarged, mindless, and violent, with Ender traits growing through their bodies. This has never been fully explained, but if the reports are true, then an Ender attack does more than kill people. It may increase their numbers. Mistfall itself is part of the danger. The mist is not always the same. Sometimes it is light, sometimes it is thick enough to break sight between soldiers standing close to each other. The mist changes without a reliable pattern. This creates major problems for patrols. A clear route can become unsafe quickly. A visible tree line can disappear. A patrol that believes it has distance from the enemy can suddenly find the Enders within striking range. Magic does not reliably clear the mist. Detection spells are also not dependable inside it. The mist hides movement, interferes with scouting, and forces many encounters into close range. That is important because close range favors the Enders. Their claws, teeth, size, strength, and numbers become much more dangerous once a patrol loses the ability to fight at distance. There is one warning sign that Highguard patrols and Mistwood watchers take seriously. When Mistfall goes silent, an Ender attack often follows. This does not happen every time. Enders can attack without silence, and silence can happen without an attack. but the pattern is common enough that soldiers treat sudden quiet as a danger sign. Birds stop, insects stop, animals vanish or freeze. The normal sounds of the woods and valley disappear. When that happens, trained patrols prepare for contact. They tighten formation, check sight lines, watch the ground and tree line, and prepare fire if they have time. The mistake is relying on silence as the only warning. Mistfall is dangerous because it does not give consistent signals. Noise does not mean safety. Quiet does not guarantee an attack. Both conditions can still end with enders coming out of the mist. Enders usually hunt in small raiding parties. These groups allow them to move quietly, strike fast, and disappear before a full military response can arrive. A small raiding party can destroy a caravan, kill a patrol, take bodies, and retreat into Mistfall before Highguard can send reinforcements. This makes their numbers harder to track. A small raid may represent 5 creatures, or it may be the edge of a larger force hidden deeper in the mist. At times, enders gather into large hordes. When this happens, the threat changes from a border raid into a military crisis. Ender hordes have attacked Highguard. They have attacked Mistwood. Sometimes they attack both. The walls of Highguard have never been breached by the Enders, but repeated attacks prove they are willing to test the fortress. Highguard is the dreaming empire of Dor's northern wall. The GSU law book identifies Dor as the dominant human imperial power on western Tanelon, ruled by King Holgrim Mandrake, with Highguard listed as one of its imperial cities and its northern fortress controlling access to the wastes. Highguard is not built for luxury or politics. It is a military citadel. Its people are soldiers, scouts, weaponsmiths, engineers, wardens, and garrison families. It exists because the northern frontier cannot be left unwatched. Its walls overlook the Valley of Mistfall, and its purpose is to stop the horrors beyond the frontier from pushing south into Dor. The city contains watch battalions, ritual artillery, outrider lodges, demon warning towers, alarm temples, and vaults for cursed artifacts. Highguard's culture is based on discipline because the city's survival depends on it. Highguard has held against the Enders because it is built for containment. Its walls, patrols, alarms, artillery, and frontier discipline all exist to slow or stop threats before they reach the heart of the Empire. This does not mean Highguard can destroy the Ender threat. Its role is not total victory. Its role is defense. It watches the northern road. It controls movement near Mistfall. It responds to raids. It burns bodies when necessary. It maintains patrols even when the mist is too thick and the weather makes visibility poor. The soldiers stationed there understand that a single failed watch can cost more than one patrol. It can open a path south. If Highguard ever falls, the northern border of Dor changes immediately. Mistwood is the other major force tied to the Ender threat. Mistwood belongs to the Wood Elves. They are not openly hostile to the Dreaming Empire, but they are distant, secretive, and territorial. They do not trust outsiders in their forest. Anyone entering Mistwood without a good reason will be warned to leave. If that warning is ignored, the Wood Elves may attack and kill the trespasser. This is not because they are random killers. It is because Mistwood borders a dangerous region, and the Wood Elves do not allow careless movement through lands they protect. They trust no one until given a reason. They keep their knowledge close, and they do not explain their methods to humans unless they choose to. The Wood Elves matter because they know things about the Enders that the men of Highguard do not fully understand. The Enders file states that the arrows of the Wood Elves are one of the only known things that can kill an Ender permanently. But the Elves have never explained how or why this works. This is one of the most important tactical mysteries in the Ender conflict. Highguard can hold walls, organize patrols, and bring fire and steel. Mistwood can kill Enders in a way that even the Empire does not fully understand. The two sides are not close allies. They do not share everything. They keep to their own territories most of the time. But when Ender hordes mass in numbers large enough to threaten both Highguard and Mistwood, the men and elves may work together. That cooperation is practical. Highguard and Mistwood do not need to trust each other fully to understand the danger. If a horde breaks Highguard, Dor's northern defense line is compromised. If a horde breaks Mistwood, the forest itself may become Ender ground. If both fall, the northern region could become impossible to hold. During horde events, Highguard brings soldiers, walls, artillery, command structure, and defensive depth. Mistwood brings hidden movement, forest knowledge, elven archery, and an understanding of Ender behavior inside wooded terrain. The two forces are different, and that difference is useful. Highguard fights like a fortress. Mistwood fights like a forest that does not want intruders to leave alive. Enders are difficult to kill permanently. Their tree-like body parts allow them to connect with each other through vines. When those vines wrap together, Enders appear to share information. They may also transfer life force into fallen Enders. This process is not instant, it takes time, but it means a fallen Ender cannot always be treated as dead unless the body is destroyed. Highguard soldiers and wood elves know this well. A dead Ender left on the ground may rise again if other Enders are able to reach it and restore it. This is why Ender bodies are burned, destroyed with acid, finished with magic, or otherwise made unusable. Leaving the body intact creates the risk of fighting the same creature again. This changes battlefield procedure. Against ordinary enemies, soldiers may focus first on wounded allies, prisoners, supplies, or regrouping. Against Enders, the body of the enemy is still a problem after the fight. If the Enders withdraw and leave their dead behind, the defenders still have work to do. They must destroy the bodies before other Enders return. If the defenders are injured, exhausted, or low on supplies, this becomes harder. If the mist thickens before the bodies are burned, the situation becomes worse. Enders force their enemies to control the battlefield after contact. Winning the first fight is not enough. Some Enders use corrupted nature magic. This is different from normal Wood Elf nature magic. Wood Elf magic works with living systems. Ender magic corrupts them. A Wood Elf druid might call living wolves for aid. An Ender might use fungus and dead growth to make a dead bear or stag move again. Their magic turns rot, root, dead tissue, and fungal growth into weapons. This means animals killed in Mistfall may become dangerous after death. A dead beast can become part of a later attack if Ender corruption reaches it. This is another reason bodies must be burned or cleared quickly. Mistfall is not only dangerous because of what is alive inside it. It is dangerous because the dead may be used. This corrupted magic also shows why the Wood Elves take the Enders so seriously. To the Wood Elves, the Enders are not just monsters. They are a corruption of the natural order. They twist the same type of power that the Elves use to defend, heal, and command living nature. This likely explains part of the hostility between Mistwood and outsiders. The Wood Elves live close to a threat that turns forest, flesh, and death into weapons. They cannot afford loose borders. They cannot afford unknown travelers moving through their woods. They cannot afford mistakes that might give Enders bodies, information, or paths into protected areas. The most feared part of the Ender threat is the possibility that victims become Enders. The file states that it is said every Ender is a former victim killed by them, and that warriors have seen old comrades who fell in battle return as warped, mindless giant monsters. This point should be stated clearly. If a soldier dies fighting the Enders and the body is taken, that soldier may later return as an Ender. This is not confirmed in every case, but enough reports exist for Highguard and Mistwood to treat the danger seriously. That means every lost patrol is a possible future threat. Every missing caravan may become more than a casualty report. Every body dragged into the mist may increase the number of creatures that come back out. This makes Ender warfare psychologically damaging. Soldiers may have to fight former comrades. Families may never know whether the missing are dead or changed. Commanders may have to order bodies burned instead of recovered. A wounded man taken alive may be considered lost if no rescue is possible. These are not symbolic dangers. They affect patrol discipline and military decisions. Highguard survives because its soldiers accept hard rules. Mistwood survives because the Wood Elves enforce their borders without sentiment. Against the Enders, hesitation can create more Enders. The Enders also create a strategic problem because no one knows their total numbers. Mistfall hides them from detection magic. The mist changes. The terrain favors ambush. The Enders move in small raiding parties most of the time, which makes them difficult to count. When they gather into hordes, it proves that larger numbers exist, but it still does not reveal how many remain hidden. A horde attacking Highguard may be a major force, or only a fraction of what Mistfall contains. That uncertainty is one reason the prophecy remains feared. The Enders may already exist in numbers large enough to threaten the Empires, but no one can prove it until they move. Their possible connection to the Voidborn remains unconfirmed. The Enders file states that no one knows if there is a source to the corruption or if the Enders are connected in some way to the Voidborn. This should remain an open question in the video. Do not state that they are Voidborn. Do not state that they are unrelated. The correct position is that the source of their corruption is unknown. Their behavior, transformation threat, corrupted magic, and mist association make the question reasonable, but not answered. This uncertainty strengthens the law because even Highguard, Mistwood, and Door do not fully understand what they are fighting. The Enders are not a solved threat. Highguard has stopped them from breaching the fortress. Mistwood has prevented them from taking the forest completely. Wood Elf arrows can kill them permanently, but the method remains secret. Fire, acid, and destruction can stop fallen Enders from returning, but those methods require time and control of the battlefield. Magic can work against them, but not reliably enough to trust as the only answer. Raiding parties can be beaten. Hordes can be stopped. But none of this proves the Enders are contained forever. It only proves that Highguard and Mistwood have survived so far. The long-term danger is spread. If the mist expands, if raids increase, if more victims are taken, and if hordes become more frequent, the Enders become more than a northern frontier problem. They become a threat to the Dreaming Empire and eventually to other empires across Tanalon. That is why the old prophecy matters. It may be exaggerated, it may be misunderstood, but it matches the basic facts of the threat. The Enders are numerous. They are hard to count. They may convert victims. They can heal or restore their fallen. They resist some magic. They move under cover of mist. They attack in raids and hordes. If those traits spread beyond Mistfall in force, the empires of the world would face a war they are not prepared to fight. For now, Highguard still stands. Mistwood still watches. The northern road remains dangerous but not lost. The Enders continue to raid, gather, vanish, and return. The Valley of Mistfall remains their known origin point, but not their limit. The mist changes. The silence still comes before some attacks. The dead still have to be burned. The missing still may return wrong, and the empires of Tanalon still depend on two distant forces, human and elven, holding their separate lines against the same enemy. Without the warriors of Highguard and the elves of Mistwood, the northern part of the empire might be covered in hordes of Enders hiding in a mist that never ends. It is said that every Ender is a former victim killed by them. Warriors have seen old comrades who fell in battle against the Enders return as warped, mindless giant monsters screaming for blood. No one knows if there is a source to the corruption or if they are connected in some way to the Voidborn. All that is known is they may one day end all empires as the mist grows to cover the world.